Good morning, everyone. Healthy breakfast mukbang here. You know, sometimes it's a little horrifying to see yourself like, I gotta touch up my dark roots, don't I? So, yes, I'm having something very similar to what I had with my first mukbang, which is my morning fruit salad with yogurt, walnuts, and crushed up granola bars on top. But I tell you, you're not going to ever see me just eating a big old bucket of Kentucky Fried Chicken. Like, this is what I like, and I felt like chatting with you. So, today's fruit salad is composed of a mango, a whole big, beautiful, perfect mango, God's gift to me. They were on sale at Aldi for 59 cents for a big mango. My favorite food. And then we have some canned pineapple in there. I would say about a third of a can of Aldi pineapple, which was 89 cents, so about 30 cents worth of pineapple. I'm not saying it's the most frugal breakfast in the whole wide world, because I could just have a piece of toast or some oatmeal, but I'm just letting you know what it cost. And then there's some cut up apple in here. My kids were eating an apple, one of my kids, and didn't finish it and put it in the fridge, so I cut up their leftover half chewed up apple, right? And I don't know, the apples, what did I say the apples were? I did a video the other day on the real cost of food, very intriguing information there. And the apples came to about 40 cents each, I think. Granola bars, 25 cents, yogurt free. Now let's think about the calories. I don't know what the calories are of the fruit, and I don't care, because it's fruit. And fruit, that's nature's candy. That's good for you. The granola bars, 190 calories. The yogurt, 120. Whatever. So, I just, God, look, what is going on with the dark, oh, that's, sorry, yuck. Yeah, I hate that. Do not like the dark roots. We gotta be doing a dye job. Ugh! I just took a shower, because I do periodically bathe, and I washed my hair. It was hair washing day, so it's still a little bit wet. I will say that one of the few benefits in my mind of getting older is you don't have to wash your hair as often. You know when you're a teenager and your hair is really oily like all the time? It's not like that now. Like every third day I can wash it. In fact, sometimes I think it looks better when it's dirty than when it's clean. Right now it's just wet, not greasy. A lovely mega fan of mine commented on yesterday's mukbang that it looks like I'm not chewing my food. So I had to think about that. Am I chewing my food, or am I just like slurping it down? I don't know. I eat really fast. I have teeth. I think I'm chewing my food, but I'm going to try to be more conscious of it. Do you like my, this is a huge bowl. I'm not really good with portion control. Snap, crackle, and pop. Classy. I think my husband found this in the trash somewhere, because he is a big old dumpster diver. Okay. So, I know some people are going to tell you that growing old is like beautiful and you need to embrace it, and so I don't want to discourage all you younger people, but it's got its downsides too. Everything has its pluses and minuses, but if I had my choice, I'd go back to being 35. Not necessarily with all the life circumstances I had at 35, but like physically, like my body. And like I wasn't so wrinkled back then. I had my cute phase. I did go through a cute phase at one point. It didn't last too long, but I didn't always look like this. I am 52. In case some of you think I'm 65, I'm not. I do have little kids. I had twins when I was 47. And everybody says, oh, isn't that great? Don't they keep you young? I am so freaking tired all the time. They run me ragged, those girls. They really, really do. I have to stir all this together because I like it all mixed. Mango is just, oh my god, the most amazing thing. And I never even had a mango growing up. I had a very limited range of foods I ate as a kid. Not so much because I was picky, but just because, I don't know, it was the 60s and 70s. My mother wasn't out buying exotic things like mangoes. I don't ever even remember seeing a mango at the A&P. But when I was growing up, fruit was like apples, bananas, oranges, and maybe grapes in the summer, and maybe a plum. I only tried a mango for the first time maybe 10 years ago. So anyway, another thing about growing older that I'm kind of looking forward to is hitting the menopause. I know, I have a friend whose father's a gynecologist. My beautiful and brilliant Armenian friend. Love you. I don't think she watches this, but, you know, she's out there. And she told me it's not really good for you to hit menopause because you lose flexibility. And I guess that's why older women, you know, are falling down and breaking their bones and stuff. But to me at this point, if I'm not going to have more kids, which I'm not, getting my monthly friend is sort of pointless and getting to be kind of a pain in the neck. You know, it's been almost 40 years that I've been dealing with that. Not the worst thing in the plan and not the worst curse that can befall you, but it's time to be done with that. I'm ready. And I just hope I don't, you know, fall and break a hip. It's definitely true as you get older. Older people will tell you this. You become invisible to society. That is true. I think the other big benefit of getting older really is just you get to the point where you just don't give a anymore. Fill in the blank with your favorite expletive. For me, it happened mostly around when I turned 40. I'm chewing. And around 40 also is magically when your eyesight changes and all of a sudden if you never needed glasses before, you're going to need glasses. Excuse me. So, yeah, you get to a point where you're just like, all this stupid, petty stuff that you worry about when you're younger, you just don't care anymore. I think it's just because you're just too tired and worn out to put the energy into it. And you've just achieved enough wisdom that you just know not to fret. I'm fretting a little bit about, like, what is that? It's like this weird, like, why is that so? I feel like the dark roots are growing out unevenly or something. If I turn this way, yeah, I'll have to eat like that. Yeah. That looks better. I don't want to offend you with my dark roots. This feels natural. I'm telling you, this is about the best breakfast you could ever eat. It's like the healthy version, kind of like a hot fudge sundae. No ice cream, no hot fudge. But you got the fruity flavors mixed with the vanilla yogurt flavor and the granola and the nuts. You have all these different textures. I really like my food to have different textures mixed together. I'm into texture. It's what they refer to as mouthfeel on the Food Network, as I recall. I think my mother was not particularly into textures because I know all you have to do is say rice pudding to her, or God forbid, tapioca, and she starts to, like, you know, it's a textural thing. And God forbid you suggest putting raisins in your rice pudding, she's going to lose it. She's going to lose it right there and then. So, it's a beautiful late summer day. I feel the pressure to I'm looking out the window. When I look over there, that's where my window is. I feel the pressure to go outside and do something, you know, like outdoorsy because it's such beautiful weather, but it's also really hot. It's early and it's really hot already, which makes me not want to go outside and do anything. I was thinking about one of my little twins, and she is such a sugar addict already. And she'll tell you, once I start eating sugar, I just can't stop myself. It is so good, I cannot stop. And I'm all like, yeah, I know, we're all like that, but you're only 4. Like, you cannot be like that. That is really unhealthy. And then I was thinking about her in kind of like a judgy way, like, if that kid had her way, she would just sit on the sofa all day watching TV and eating candy. I was like, that is just not good. But then I was thinking, me too. If I could just get away with that, that's how I'd like to spend my life too, 90% of the time. Just sitting around watching TV and just eating. Not necessarily candy, but probably this bowl mounded with ice cream. If I could get away with it, which I cannot. But we have to force healthier choices on ourselves sometimes. We have to force it. Have any of you ever tried this paleo diet? I kind of understand the logic behind it, but at the same time, I'm not sure that paleo people, like cavemen, I'm not sure they were the healthiest. I'm not really sure they're the ones to emulate. I mean, I think when formalized agriculture came into human civilization, you know, like when we were planting crops on purpose, I think people got healthier. That's just what I'm thinking. Because having this, I'm thinking it's a very meat-based diet, isn't it? Like you go out and you kill your woolly mammoth and you have a great big old Fred Flintstone style barbecue. That's like the Atkins diet. That is not healthy. I guess, and then you're what, having your nuts and berries that you go collect and your dandelion leaves? I don't know. I think it's just a fad that's not going to prove itself too healthy for people. I was thinking about movies the other day that show like cave people. And there's this really old movie. I think it has Raquel Welch in it. I was like a cave woman. So you know, she looks like Raquel Welch, like a young Raquel Welch. So she's wearing this like, I don't know, it's supposed to look like an animal skin maybe, like kind of bikini thing off the shoulder deal. And she's running around with her tribe of very Scandinavian looking, clean, blonde haired, blue-eyed cave friends. Very attractive people. And I was thinking, truly, if you're a caveman, you're going to have such long hair, and it's going to be completely matted. Like, it's the original dreadlocks, right? Everybody would have these matted dreadlocks. That's not attractive. I am chewing, but I have to say, the mango is super slippery, and it will just slide down if you let it. I'm chewing the apple. I'm trying. So, what I really wanted to chit-chat today about is how self-conscious I am about chewing now. No, not that. Co-sleeping. Y'all know this concept of co-sleeping when kids sleep with their parents. Some people are very against it. Some people are obviously for it, or else, you know, they wouldn't be doing it. I do it. I sleep with my kids. And I'm also a child welfare social worker. So I understand all the arguments against co-sleeping because we do not, as an official agency, we do not recommend people co-sleep with their kids. We don't let foster parents co-sleep with the kids for obvious reasons. And we don't encourage birth families to do that at all. But yet I do it. And with the twins, I planned ahead of time to do it. Like people, when I was pregnant, people would ask me, oh, have you set up the nursery? Have you set up their room? And I was like, They don't have a room. Their room is my room. They're going to be sleeping with me. Like, I planned it ahead of time. Spoiler alert, my husband doesn't sleep in the room with us. He has his own room, but that's because he snores. And that's like, get away. Get away with the snoring. So the two girls sleep in the bed with me. It is our bedroom. My room is their room is my room. It won't go on forever like that, but because I'm assuming by the time they graduate high school, like somewhere before that, they're going to have said, we want our own room. And then we'll do that. But starting from when they were babies, it just felt so much more comfortable to co-sleep with them because I felt like I could be the mama tiger protecting my cubs. Like, I wanted them right there with me so I could protect them. I didn't want them in a nursery or even on the other side of the room in a bassinet. I needed them right there. I'm a really light sleeper, and I was getting no sleep in those early days anyway. I mean, that was a brutal time. But I wanted them right next to me, so if anything happened, I would just be awake instantly in there, And when they were newborns there with me, we had the light on all the time. I mean, like a low, not like a bright light, but a low, dim light, so I could always see them. Because I didn't want to wake up and have it be dark in the middle of the night and be like, oh my God, where are my babies? Where are they? And looking for them. So I like co-sleeping because it just feels safer and like snuggly and fun. And a lot of my friends with little kids will say that they are not co-sleepers. Their kids have their own rooms, but their kids come in to mom and dad's room every single night and sleep with them. So ostensibly you're co-sleeping. And what I hear from a lot of my friends is that the husbands have issues with the co-sleeping. They don't want the kids in bed with them. And the only reason I can think for that, because from the man's perspective, having the child there is getting in the way of his sex life. A little selfish there, man. I will just say that my kids co-sleeping with me and my husband sleeping in his own snore bedroom, that does not impact our sex life. Take that for what you will. I know you're thinking, are they still doing it when the kids aren't around in another room? Or they just weren't doing it at all anymore anyway? So there's no impact. Yeah, it's one of those. You figure out which one that is. Oh, that was a really racy mukbang because we're talking about middle-aged sex. Ew. So anyway, yes, I co-sleep with my girls. Yeah, I've gotten a punch in the face in the middle of the night a number of times. But I still like it. I think when it becomes dangerous is, obviously there's a danger of rolling over on your child and killing your child. And that has happened. People have done that to their babies. And we don't want that. If you're going to roll over and smother your child, then no, you're not allowed to co-sleep. But I think I don't drink. I don't use drugs. So it's not like I'm going to be in this substance abuse-induced deep sleep, and then I'm going to roll over on a small child and smother the child and not realize it. And I am a very light sleeper. I wake up all the time, constantly. And I don't know. I just felt like for me there wasn't that risk. Of course, now my girls are about to turn 5. It is getting kind of crowded in the bed. They're getting bigger, but I'm not going to smush them. I don't roll around. And you have to think, throughout the course of human history, I don't think it was very natural for human parents to sleep separately from their offspring. Right? Think about how people lived in their little huts and their caves and little farmhouses and whatever. They didn't have space for everybody to have their own room. You're not going to have a baby in another room by itself. Why would a baby want to be all by itself in another room? It does not want to be there all by itself. All that being said, I'm going to tell you the proper way to put a baby to sleep. I don't mean like rocking it and all that. Go ahead and do that, but if you are putting a baby to go to bed in his or her crib, you put them on their back. That's what you got to do. It's called safe to sleep. You put them on their back, on a firm mattress with a tight crib sheet over it, right? No bumper pads around the side of the crib. They shouldn't even sell those anymore. You go to Babies R Us and you see all the little nursery furniture sets and the cute little matching bumper to the sheets to the little baby comforter and the mobile. That should be against the law. No bumpers on the crib. No. Don't do that. Because why? Because your baby can roll over it and have their face like smushed up against it and they can suffocate. Yes, it's happened. And you don't ever want to put your baby on a soft surface to sleep. Like a big old pillow, thinking, oh, it's so soft, it's like a fluffy cloud. My baby is sleeping on a cloud. Smother, smother, die, smother. No, bad, no bad. Firm, firm. And you don't put blankets on a little baby. No, you don't cover them. They're in their warm little gym jams, but you don't put blankets because, again, they can pull it up over their faces and smother. Babies do silly things like that. You just know. So, in case you didn't know that, firm mattress on the back, not on the tummy, not on the side. When my older daughter was born 20 years ago, it was the thing to have your baby lying on its side. So people had like these wedges, like these foam wedges, and they'd put the baby on its side and have like a wedge at the back and a wedge at the tummy to keep the baby on its side. That was like the thing. And if you couldn't afford a wedge, you rolled up a towel. But no, doctors say no, no, no. Now it is absolutely on your back. Baby on the back. And if you're a smoker and you have a baby, you gotta stop. You gotta stop. There's no smoking when there's a baby. No. Sorry. You're done. If you smoke, even if you're saying, but I only smoke outside. Right, like I believe that. But it's still like it's in your hair and on your clothes and you're holding the baby right up to that, up to your clothes. And, you know, they're breathing in all those toxic yuckies from your smoking. And I believe that cigarette smoking is linked to crib death. So, really? You want to take that risk? No, you don't. I'll tell you the worst thing in the world for a child welfare social worker is when there's a child death. It is just so, I mean, I know, it's kind of like the worst thing in the world for anybody. I mean, a child death, that is just like the worst. And it's so unnecessary. That was a monstrously big bite. Alright, so these were fun topics. We talked about the menopause and the fun of growing older. We talked about co-sleeping and how to put your baby down for a safe night's sleep. We gave our opinion. We, the royal we, have given our opinion on the paleo diet, though I have to say I really don't know a whole lot about it. I just heard of it, and it doesn't really make sense to me. A couple years ago, my husband got me a cookbook for Christmas, just as these were left, on like raw food diet. And I kind of thought, well, cookbook on raw foods. Like, you're just eating raw food. Like, there are recipes. And I get, of course, the benefits of raw fruits and vegetables, but as your entire diet, I was all like, no, I'm not doing that. And I know he wasn't going to do it. His eating habits are horrendous. For him, like any food is just a vehicle to get butter and salt into his mouth. So like white bread, butter. White rice, butter. And you know what he does? Ugh, I hate this. He doesn't do peanut butter and jelly. He does peanut butter and margarine on the sandwich. I judge that. No. That is, no. Weird. It kind of reminds me of my poor dear old dad. Watching my dad make a sandwich, it was just sad and pathetic. And my dad was the most brilliant person. But to watch him make a sandwich, it was like, I don't know if it was just because he was in a hurry, because he was a doctor and he was kind of rushing around, but like he'd spread peanut butter on bread, but he couldn't take the time to spread it like from edge to edge on the bread. He'd just kind of blop it in the middle and then put another piece of bread on. I'm like, what are you doing? And I would have to take the knife out of his hand and be like, Dad, step aside. Spread. That's just, it was sad. It was sad. That was a man who loved a tomato sandwich in the summer. Just tomatoes, sliced tomatoes on bread, salt and pepper, Miracle Whip. We were a Miracle Whip family, not a mayonnaise family. You know, for a while at the grocery store, you could buy fat-free Miracle Whip. They finally came out with that. I don't see that anymore, ever. I sometimes see Miracle Whip Light, but I don't see the fat-free anymore. Well, I don't get what's happening. What happened to that? I make my own mayonnaise from scratch. But if I could get the fat-free Miracle Whip, I'd be going with that again. I would write to the company, which I believe is Kraft, and beg for coupons. In fact, I think I might email them now and say, what happened to your fat-free Miracle Whip? Alright, here's the last bite. The last delicious. That was so yummy in my tummy. Now, on with our exciting and productive day. Catch y'all later. Bye-bye.